Halifax's exclusive South End. Luxury properties are the norm here, particularly those with water frontage on the northwest arm. Nancy and John, however, have focused their home on family and function.
Just a drop in the ocean.
But first we'll visit Lunenburg, the storied birthplace of the Blue Nose and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This 250-year-old home preserves that history while providing Deborah and Tom with a serene harbour as they embark on a new journey together. Water, deep, flowing, mysterious, ever-changing yet constant. The inspiration of artists and adventurers, it's the foundation of life. We are drawn to it, to watch it, listen to it, immerse ourselves, and for the fortunate few, to live beside it.
For many years, we were vacationing in Cape Breton. And originally, I planned a trip to Scotland and it didn't work out. And we said, well, where else can we go on vacation this year? And it just came to me, like, how about New Scotland? And Tom said, well, Cape Breton has more fiddlers per square foot than anywhere in the world, and he plays fiddle. So we said, yeah, let's go. And we found a wonderful place and made a lot of friends there. So we kept going back and fell in love with Nova Scotia. And just decided we wanted to live here.
Over the past 20 years, I think almost every vacation we have taken has been up here to Canada someplace.
Came in the winter, too. Make sure we could handle the winter.
I'm a Presbyterian minister and have served in the Presbyterian Church USA for most of my 30-year career. When we started looking to move up here and considering it, I got in touch with the Presbyterian Church in Canada. Once they had said I was eligible to become a member, we started looking for jobs. I was offered the position to become the pastor of these two churches, and we were just so excited. It was just like, yeah, this is it. So we started making our plans, and we came up here from Pennsylvania back in the end of November of last year. Our real estate agent had told us about this particular house coming on the market, and let's come on out and take a look at it. We came out here on a Saturday morning. We walked in the front door. We took one look around. Put an offer in and put it in right away. And the folks that were selling it accepted our offer. And we were just so excited. Just from walking in the front door and seeing the house and seeing the charm of all the original woodwork and everything, it was just like, this is where we want to be. One of the things that attracted me to this house is simply the age of it. They built this house in 1765, and it was one of the first houses that was built outside of the fortifications of Lunenburg.
I've never been in a house like this before. I've been in old houses, of course. I love the exposed beams in all the ceilings. I love these wide plank random floors, the curved staircase, the entry.
And there's that little model of the Blue Nose that we have. It's up there. How can you live in Lunenburg and not have a model of the Blue Nose? We've got a whale on the wall. We've got a picture of the Lunenburg Harbor. We've got, lobstermen up there. And it's all the decorations around that whole room are all about, kind of connected to the water.
We pick up things whenever we can that will add to the nautical theme of the house. This is my favorite room, the music room. My piano is in here. That's relaxing. This is where I spend my downtime, mostly, here and up in the Lunenburg bump. It's an architectural style that's common to the Lunenburg area. It's a 5-sided dormer sitting area. People love sitting in their Lunenburg bump, and we do too. We often just sit up there and watch the sailboats go by, and you get a beautiful sunset.
We got a couple of rocking chairs that we have sitting right in front of the fireplace, and to be sitting there at night, no TV, no noise, no distractions, just to sit there and enjoy that. Every room has just something unique about it.
The Heritage Wall is a section of the living room wall that was preserved from the original house, and the Heritage Wall has the numbers, they used Roman numerals, of each piece of wood and how they would fit together. And there's also a plaque there that describes it. So pretty awesome that somebody had the insight to come up with that idea to have a heritage wall.
To see that, wow, this house has really been here all that time, and this has got a lot of history to it and a lot of connection to it, and to watch that, wow, it's so much different than what we have seen in other places. We lived in a high-rise, modern, concrete building for 10 years. This is just so vastly different.
If I could have designed a house out of my dreams, it would have been very much like this.
I guess the word I would be looking for, stately. It just, you just look at this place and it's like, wow, that looks great. And particularly, on a day like today, the sky is crystal clear blue. There's no clouds or anything. The day we moved in, I took a photo of the front of the house from down at the road. And I just got this great picture, this clear blue sky, and just the whole front facade of the house. It's like, wow, this looks like such a cool place. That's what I enjoy about it, and I get to see that every day.
The meadows are what's unique about it. I've never had a meadow. I've had gardens, I've never had a meadow. The entire back of the house is fenced in. On the one side, we have a vegetable garden, and there's some sheds and a greenhouse back there. But the meadow starts in the spring, and waves of color just suddenly burst open. And there's poppies, and there are daisies, and there are western wildflowers. And as one fades, another one takes over. So color for months. Beautiful, beautiful wildflower meadows. There are fruit trees back there. There are berry bushes. There's what you call a willow meadow. And then we have buckwheat on the side too. So we had never had an experience of a meadow before that needed tending. The front of the property is more manicured gardens, planned gardens.
The herb garden, I love having the herb garden because I can be sitting there cooking and just run outside and pick some fresh cilantro or pick some fresh oregano or sage. We actually picked a whole bunch of mint the other day and have it down in the basement hanging up and drying, so we'll be able to use it over the winter. I think what I love the most about it is being out in the front. Our little patio up there where we have a couple of Adirondack chairs, to be able to sit out there and just watch the harbor. And we're, gosh, a kilometer away from the water, and I can still hear the waves hitting the shore. And it's just so peaceful. The two things that she wanted in a house was she wanted to have trees, and she wanted to have the water.
And we have both. Yeah.
And here we are. Coming up here to Nova Scotia, we were living in Mahone Bay waiting for this house to be ready. And I said, let's go out. And there's a little pub 2 doors down from where we were living. And this group of folks came in and they started playing Irish music. So I introduced myself to them. I told them I was a fiddle player. They invited me to come and play with them. And I play with them every week now. But I come in here and I got my music stand there and I have my instruments here. And I can just sit down and start learning new music all the time. She'll come over, sit on the sofa over here and just sit there and read a book. It's just a nice, relaxing thing to be able to do. We moved out to Nevada when I took a position at a church out there, and we'd have people over and, after worship, and it was hot dogs and burgers on the grill or steaks or something. The house was open for entertainment all the time. And now that we have this house, well, we want to start inviting people to come here and be a part of it. So we've got the patio outside there, got the barbecue grill. This house is ideal for welcoming people in, and it really is something that we both believe in very strongly.
It's a ministry for us, the ministry of hospitality, I call it. When we have our group dinners, or we have a few couples at a time over for dinner, or we have the church picnic in our yard, that's when I can really be part of that ministry, and I enjoy it so much.
I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to experience hospitality in a strange place, but it is something that is literally life-changing. To have an open door policy where anybody can come in here and feel welcome. This is the kind of home that I want to have. It's the kind of church that I want to be a pastor of. A place where anybody can come, no matter what, no matter who they are, no matter what their life experience is, no matter what, where they can come and find a place where we can build community.
I retired after I got here, so I was a college professor and I had to retire at the end of June. Not yet decided what I'm going to do next in the third of my life. I'm giving myself time to work that out. You're the professor, you're the doctor. And then all of a sudden I had none of that. And I was just Tom's wife. And I'm still not finished with this phase of finding who I am again. How the house helped me is by the calmness that is here, and it gives me time and a place to think this all through. And that's been such a blessing. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just been perfect. You know, I may decide this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Take care of my house and cook for my congregation, and that would be fine. Even though we didn't know exactly what it would be like living here, it's turned out to be everything we'd hoped and more.
And I think the biggest part for going forward is really going to be not just enjoying this house, but enjoying this community and enjoying this province. And that's going to be the goal for me, is to continue to do those kinds of things that are going to make my life enjoyable.
It's the most welcoming place I've ever lived in. And I've had many homes, and some of them felt more like home to me than others. This one has felt, I've had that feeling here more than any place else I've ever lived.
I'm a doctor. I was dean of the medical school here at Dalhousie. And prior to that, I had a variety of jobs. First in Manitoba, and then McGill, and then University of British Columbia before coming here 19 years ago.
I met John in the hospital at the Montreal General. I was head nurse on an orthopedic ward at the time, and he said, would you like to go out? And I said, when? And he said, well, tomorrow. And I said, well, I'm playing tennis. He said, oh, sorry. So we went another time. And bit by bit.
We looked at, I guess, 3 houses in the south end within walking distance of the medical school.
And then I said, John, would you like to come down and look at this one? And let's see. And?
We did.
And?
We bought it. But we were lucky. We didn't realize how lucky we were. But it was the perfect size for us. Water is very important to this house. And across the road from us were 2 boat clubs. One was the Nova Scotia Rowing Club, which was a drinking place. And they still dive for old beer bottles down here. And the other one was the Halifax Amateur Boat Club, which was known as the Halifax Anti-Booze Club. So boats have a long history here. We close the front door and we're in the country. We open the front door, we're in the city. So it's unique.
You know, I would say perfection. We're lucky. We're lucky.
The house was really perfect. It wasn't that old. It was built probably
15 years?
15 years before we got here, so it was relatively new. And everything was ship-shape.
Perfection, just
yeah.
Perfect. I do enjoy just sitting, looking out the window at the ducks and the geese and the, cormorants and the blue heron, looking at the trees and the, in the fall, they're orange and red and greens, and in the winter, there's some snow and whatnot. That's what I like, really.
Well, this room was 2 rooms at that time. There was a wall, so that was a dining room and this was a living room. So we removed it to give a much more open space.
We both felt the same thing about the wall that was across here, and we opened it up and it worked perfectly. And then, you know, with the solarium and all the flowers from the garden, no, it was perfect. Other than that, just looking after all the flowers that we have in it. You know, we have friends, some friends that come and go. Not a huge number, so that, you know, it's family and us, really. You know, when all the children or grandchildren are here, they'll eat there. We have 2 tables going. Everything's in the right place with the sink and the microwave. You know, you can cut this here and there. You know, it's all in the right place and the lights are in the right place. And yeah, no, it's, I would say, perfection.
Well, I think my favorite room is outside the house.
Okay.
On the deck or in the garden. You can spend an hour out there and not a single thought has gone through your head. Except, what's that weed doing in my garden? So it's the mindlessness of it's very relaxing. It's a mixed garden, a lot of perennials, of course, which take a lot of care and pruning and so on. But then I have raspberries, gooseberries, black currants, blackberries, from which I harvest the fruit and make into jams and jellies. So they take a lot of care, mostly pruning in fall and early spring. So that keeps me busy.
He is particularly good at making the jellies and jams. It's just not my forte, but he is particularly good at that. And I use, you know, all the vegetables in all sorts of things. We have neighbors in our little cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we're very close to our
friends.
neighbors.
Yeah.
We usually meet out in the center.
Yeah, yeah. We had a barbecue once there, remember?
Yeah. It always reminds me of being in Kenya and being at on a safari, and sitting out in the evening or night looking up over a water hole and watching the animals parade in. They seem to know when to come and when to go. And it's like that here both with the boats and the birds. I mean, the first birds that come are ducks, and then the loons come. And the same with the ships, the boats. The first boats are the sculls at the crack of dawn or even before dawn. And then kayaks, and then motorboats, and then sailboats. So it's all sort of like a stage, an act. And everybody knows their timing.
It's just sort of, you know, you close your eye, it just brings you peace somehow, and you just sort of meditate, you know, a bit, yeah.
I sit in the corner of this room. Nancy sits at one end of the room and I sit at the other room. And get on my iPad or read my book.
You know, we play cards and games and bridge and, you know, you name it. You know, we're quite happy to play our 5 games of cards every day.
Yep.
For a couple of hours. And we keep track of every single winner and loser, don't we?
Well, that's because you lie.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I don't. I think humor is behind it all. You know, we all laugh together about this, that, and the other thing, and nobody sort of gets upset.
And we don't frequent the pubs.
No, we don't.
Well, I do kayak. Not so much lately, but we have several kayaks.
When I was at McGill, and played tennis and squash and you name it. But I haven't been able to. I've had surgery on both my shoulders and arms and legs and knees, and so it prevents me from going. I'd love to be out swimming and whatnot, but at this stage, I think I just stick to watching out. But when the grandchildren are here, they like to swim, they like going in the water, they like playing with the crabs and the starfish. And
well, you can't see it right now because it's high tide, but we have one of the few sand beaches on this side of the arm. They like to play in the sand.
Build castles and whatnot. But they're, of course, most of them are at university now.
Yeah.
Just sort of phoning to Grandma, saying, Grandma has seen it all, done it all, knows it all. She just can't remember it all. That's what when he turned 21, that's what they said. We're quite happy here, and it's fairly simple to look after, really. One of us is going to go soon, probably me before him, but I think a nursing home isn't my cup of tea, and I don't think it's John's either.
No, I'm not leaving.
If need be, we would have a home, someone coming in and helping out if we needed that. We could, if need be, you know, you could just go up and into the kitchen, you know, from downstairs up here into the kitchen, and there's no stairs to go if we absolutely got to that stage.
Some of them live by the water because they are boaters and they have a boat. Others are fishermen and they fish. I think other people live by the water because it gives them a view which is untampered by noise and cars and buses. It's similar to people who live in the mountains. It's, I guess, closer to nature.
You know, it's just peace and tranquility, as it were.
Every home has a story. Those living along shorelines often describe a connection to nature or a sense of serenity. Others speak of family and community. These experiences aren't unique to homes near water. Wherever we live, we are enriched when we make meaningful relationships with the natural world and the people we care for. These intrinsic emotional bonds are universal. They are the true essence of being at home.
Laughing like young lovers on this back road avenue. And this Saturday night, I'm only singing for you. And if we had any problems, you wouldn't know it now. To think that we solved them, lying on the hood, counting stars. We're just a drop in the ocean. No need to fix what ain't broken.